Yes! Yes!
Hello, welcome.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah, man, legendary game. Everything is good, mate. I'm looking forward to reaching level 30 so I can start speedrunning this. Which should be next year, in the beginning of next year.
Yes! Yes!
Nice. I guess you mean the one with turbo when I was talking? There is one without the talking, but that's no longer even the world record.
Yes.
The one that I got last year, I guess. I need to improve that time as well. Hopefully I can manage to do that soon.
Yes. Yes.
I watched Die Hard yesterday for the first time in my life. I always thought it was a soulless shooter movie, a lot of action with no real story. I was very surprised to find out that the movie is actually very, very good, and I had missed it all these years, thinking it was some garbage movie.
Yes.
Instant classic from never watching it before. Can't believe I missed the movie for 30 years.
Yes. 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 Yes.
It was so good that I had to watch the second movie as well, but unfortunately I didn't like that one too much. But I'm gonna watch the third one later today, and hopefully it is better than the second one. According to ratings online, it should be better than the second movie, so I'm having my hopes up for some kind of close so that it's a little bit closer to how good the first one was, hopefully.
Yes.
And I was surprised that they went with the exact same cast, and also that it plays during the Christmas time in the second movie. I don't know if the third is gonna follow the same path, but it would be ridiculous if it's the third time during Christmas. I haven't watched Lethal Weapon, and also I'm gonna watch Scarface for the first time in my life. Any day now. I have never watched Scarface, but I've heard that it's a great movie, so we're gonna see if I believe so too. Hello, Ghetto Rigged! Ghetto from USA! Welcome, welcome! I also saw The Usual Suspects for the first time, which is also a great movie.
Yes.
Not a good tagline. I'm sorry. But it was funny.
Yes.
If you don't dare to watch Scarface, I could give you the review next week and tell you if I think that it's good. Of course, of course. Ghetto Rigged.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just found it cool that I didn't know for all these years. I will be streaming every Sunday doing this. If I do something else, it's a bonus.
Yes.
But I'm gonna start speedrunning more. The thing is, I always thought you were from like Europe, UK. I never even thought about any other possibility. We have officially hit 10,000 gold, which means we can buy the legend cask after 13 hours of grinding in the first part of the game. And as you can see, I've already maxed the addition so far. The next one is unlocked, I think, at level 21.
Yes.
You are cooler than you are. You're ghetto rigged.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's pay-per-view soon, man. Just kidding, man. I think I'm gonna get some Christmas special stream. And I think I will reapproach the legendary Nintendo 8-bit console stream again. I have almost every available Nintendo game. I did it a few years ago. People chose games from the Nintendo library, and I played it for at least 5 minutes each. And I got to see some cool games, and if I liked the game, I would play a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So my viewers could choose which games I should be playing.
Yes.
I will never be pay-per-view, don't worry. It's just a joke. He thinks that I should, because my quality or content is so good quality. Even though I don't think they are so extremely good quality. I will improve my turbo time so it's not as easily beaten as my other Legend of Dragoon times.
Yes. Yeah.
You wanna hear something funny that only I would say? Once I joked twice. Isn't that the most hilarious thing you've ever heard? Once I joked twice. Hehehe, hehehe. Super funny though.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Frontline, my favorite Nintendo game. Of course, we're gonna revisit that 2-minute game. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, I hope you tune in for my Christmas special. It will be definitely high quality stream where viewers can choose what they want to see from all of the Nintendo games available.
Yeah.
Just the regular Nintendo games, because I have 2 PlayStation discs with all of the games, Nintendo games, or almost all of them. So it's easy for me to browse through the games. On one disc it's like all the games from A to N, and then the rest is like M to the rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's easy for me to stream from my PlayStation. So I'm not gonna stream it from my PC, you know, I'm streaming from my console. That's why it's easy, and it has a reset button. So you can just get back to the main menu and reset and play another game. It's super easy. You wanna know my 3 best games? Frontline is obviously number 1. I guess the second best Nintendo game would be Super Mario Bros. 3, which is everyone's favorite, I think. And the third, that would be a difficult one. I don't really know, man, because at the third spot it is so many, like, not super good games, but they are all good in their own way. So it's hard to say a third game, but I can tell you I've never beaten Super Mario 2. So that's probably something I need to do someday. It's very difficult. I came to like World 4, the ice stage, and it's starting to get very difficult. Oh, I know. My third game is Pirates. The pirates with the exclamation mark. Do you even know what that is? You have like options to select while you're fighting. You're like a pirate and conquer other pirates on the ship, and you can do commands and fight them, and then when you take over the ship you can start traveling around the world. That's my favorite RPG, as well as my third favorite Nintendo game. And I'm pretty sure you don't even know what game I'm talking about, because if you do, you're legendary. The Pirates game was also originally on Amiga and Atari. I'm not particularly good on the Pirates game, but I like it. It's a very nice game with the music and the atmosphere, and when you can travel around with the ship. You visit other towns and it's like options you can choose from what you want to do when you enter the towns. A little bit like the Might and Magic series. When you enter like a shop or something like that. If you don't know what Pirates is, trust me, you will see during Christmas time if you stop by my stream. One stream so legendary it cannot be forgotten. You know, people actually adopted my speedrunning strategy for Frontline. Someone stole my strats, but they didn't know how to execute the grenade toss at the end perfectly, which was something that was my strength, but I never got the perfect pattern up to the end. But my grenade toss was always on point because I practiced the throw. You can save a second or something if you have a nice grenade throw in the Frontline game, which was my biggest strength.
Yes.
The Mexican runner. Nice. I need to see that. I had a 64-in-1 games cartridge when I was a kid of Nintendo games. You know, Karateka and all those crazy games were in that. Dig Dug. Super Mario 1, Duck Hunt and all those crazy games. And Execute Bike? I don't even know how it's called. Excite Bike? Something like that. And also Dragon's Lair. That game was brutal. You mean the Pirates game was a crazy hard game? If that's the one you mean, then yeah. It is probably pretty difficult. Dude, I would be very happy to see Pirates. The best game, man.
Yes.
It's funny, some of the games didn't even work on the cartridge, it was a bloody scam. I think like 15 of the games just crashed the cartridge. So I never got to play all of the games that was listed in the cartridge. And Tetris was there, and I think the Punch-Out game was there. Oh, there was one game. You were running around like almost like a ninja or something. You were shooting stuff. I can't tell what the name of the game is, but it was crazy.
Yes.
Load Runner, I don't know, like just from the name, but it could be. It was a Mario type game, but much more exaggerated. Maybe we'll find it.
Yes.
Tenacious Alex, man, thank you. And welcome to the stream.
Yes.
We will make sure to go through the list, and if you recognize a game and you want to see it again, I can show it. I don't know, man. Well, if we talk about like real high quality game, I would maybe list Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yes.
But it's so hard because most of the other games are cool, but I wouldn't say that they're super high quality like those Mario games.
Yes.
No, not really. I never liked the Zelda games, not even for Super Nintendo. Metroid... I don't know, man, why I don't like the game too much.
Yes.
Yes, I would play something like Ocarina of Time for the first time someday. Metroid Prime, That was for GameCube, right? I think I read it a long time ago, like when it came out. I wanted a GameCube, but I never could afford one. So I was stuck with PlayStation 1 and eventually bought a PS2. No, I never played any Zelda game, but I would like to play Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. I like the style of Wind Waker for some reason.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Maybe I'll figure out which game it is when I see the list. I'll try out every game that I remember from the list of all the games available. I think it's like 1000 games.
Yes.
At least 800. But some of them are duplicates with different regions like Japanese, US and Europe releases. So it's not truly that many games.
Yes.
I just looked up the Hong Kong 97, but that's definitely not the game that I'm thinking of. It looked like a silly version of Mario, but it was exaggerated, like you could jump and shoot shuriken stars everywhere around the screen or something. Not as crazy as Metroid, but something similar. It was so long time ago that I don't remember what
Yes.
so much details about the game. I do remember there was something about pyramids in the game as well. So a ninja game with some, at least one level with pyramids.
Yeah.
I think you had to shoot away rocks or something to reach. I'll have to try to find the game so I know what game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a safety save in case something happens. I'm surprised at how much gold you get for doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You mean in total or just for the day? 2 hours I expect it to take today. In total it will take about 100 hours. So if we take a look at my experience, you see I have almost 9,000 or 7,000. And I need 44,000 to be done with this goal, so I'm maybe at 13% progress or 13%, something like that. So it's a long way to go, man.
Yeah.
This unfortunately means that Lavitz will be level 3 still, and only Dart will be level 30, which is the entire goal of this. We don't want to level up the others at all. We want Dart to be the only one who is strong. So that's one reason why we do this before we get Lavitz. And also this is early in the game, so it's very doable. So Dart will have Blazing Dynamo maxed out at level 30. He gets Blazing Dynamo at 29 and we have time to level it up to max level by the time we hit 30, and as soon as we hit 30 that's the start of the speedrunning career for Dart. and we will be able to purchase legend cast, legend armor, whatever you want to buy. You can buy it in this save file. As you can see, I've already only made 13% progress, and 13% have given me 10,000 gold, so we can expect 80,000 gold or something by the end of this journey. Dart has a bad reputation in speedrunning overall. He's always sleeping on the ground during speedruns. He's always the lowest level party member in your speedruns. But we're gonna change that with this. Dart for once will be the highest level character, while the other are complete garbage. It's gonna be Dart all the way home. It's crazy because normally you don't reach level 30 until you're at least on disc 3. So having level 30 Dart in the beginning with Blazing Dynamo maxed out is ridiculous. You can probably Blazing Dynamo a single boss down with one hit. And Linus and I will be talking for a short time. Normally it's a long talk we usually have, but this time 2 Blazing Dynamos and boom, she will vanish. The reactor level 99 in FF7 is a little bit longer. It's 5 times as long as this will take me. So while this is still painful to do, and I'm only at 13% progress, so basically 1 hour is 1% progress. So if you think of it, I need to play 100 hours to reach my goal. So 13 hours, 13% progress. So it's not that bad. It would definitely take 500 hours to do the Reactor 99 challenge in FF7. A level 30 would probably be very doable in FF7. I like that. Maybe I'll do that next, dude. You're inspiring me. I can tell you that when I was a kid, I loved grinding. Don't ask me why, but I loved grinding in RPGs. I could do what I'm doing now, back then, without. Like, I would be happy doing it. I just loved fighting for some reason. But that has changed when you get older. You don't like the battles too much anymore. In the same way. You have already seen all the animations and stuff. But I remember in FF7, I didn't know that I needed to go to Unum. Like, I got out on the world map and I was exploring Fort Condor and all that, but I never knew that Unum was a part of the map, like that you could go into the town. You know, so I was stuck thinking that I had to beat the Solon to progress the game, you know. So I grinded in the cave until I could beat him, and I was expecting something to happen, but nothing happened. So I was at like level 30 party. So yeah, I was grinding in the cave, like doing Matra magic and killing everything and leveling up. Had everyone's limit break maxed out, except for the ultimates, you know. So I killed the snake and nothing happens, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? The reason why I thought that was because I was cheating over the marshlands. I was just running, you know, like they do in the speedruns nowadays, hoping that I would get past him, and when I did, I was like, yeah boy, and then I get to see the cutscene with the dead snake, and I was like, okay, that's it, I go into the cave and I don't know what the hell to do. So I was grinding there and I was thinking, okay, maybe I cheated this part out because I was running through the marshlands. So that's why I grinded for so long, and I do remember I was at least level 20 something, 28 or something. Maybe I never reached exactly level 30, but I remember it was an exaggerated level. And also I did one other crazy thing. I was grinding in the reactor until I had catastrophe limit break. No, it's satellite beam, sorry. Barrett's level 3 and Cloud's level 3 meteor rain. And I remember I killed a guard scorpion in one ultimate or limit break. Like I just did meteor rain and boom, he was gone. And I remember I think it only took me to level 18 or something until I had those limit breaks. So it wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that Dart was supposed to be in the All-Stars game. I do have that game. I don't know why they cancelled it, to be honest. That's also one of the reasons. I had the level 3 spells. Fire and ice and whatever else. Earth. I liked those level 3 versions of the spells. I thought they were broken. Raw? It's goes to come back? Raw. Sniff, sniff, motherfucker. Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't know that you had to talk to Jesse, so I didn't know how to progress that part. I didn't know. Like, I played so many times, but the timer always got me, man. Are you serious? There's a scene with Tifa? Are you sure? You make me want to fail on purpose. I haven't failed since I was a kid, man. Legit, as a 12-year-old, I didn't know what to do, man. And Jesse was stuck. How would I know?
Yes.
When FF8 came out, I was so hyped because the graphics were so good, but I couldn't get the game for a long time. I think it took me like a year or something after release to get it. It was also super expensive when it came out.
Yes.
After FF7, I was the biggest FF fanboy ever. And I remember I got FF9 for Christmas whenever it released. Good times. And you know, in FF9 you can have this co-op mode where you can let the second player control some of the characters.
Yes.
So I did that. And I think we beat the game in a few days. The Bloody Tooth Challenge, man. I can't believe it. Of course.
Yes. Yes.
I would guess that Dot and Lavitz. They are blood brothers, even in death. Oh man, you gave up your SSD for your PS4. How could you do that, man?
Yes.
Okay, so they're gonna make fast storage for the PS5, but how big will the drives be? I'm guessing that they're gonna be defaulting at the 1 terabyte storage. I'm worried because you know that you kinda need 2 terabytes nowadays. That's what I have for my PS4. And if I'm gonna replace my PS4 with a potential PlayStation 5, I need to be able to have at least 2 terabyte storage with that super fast SSD. Oh no, the game glitched. I don't remember where I were, but I need to, yeah, I need to get into battle for this thing to reset. I talked about it last stream, that sometimes it doesn't load the terrain when you get out of the battle. It's like that sometimes. You need to get out of this area. Like, let's say I don't know what's gonna, that I don't get a picture next time I get back. I would have to run out of this screen, get back into the screen, and get a battle for it to be able to show me a picture again. It's only because fast disk speed is on. That's the only reason. Level 60 would take me 800 to 1000 hours, man. I'm not that crazy, man.
Yes.
Yeah, why I chose level 30 is because we get to max out the additions. There is no point in being level 60. You will have everything at maxed out by the time you're level 30, so that's why. It's the perfect level. We could max it out by 29, but 29 is not a cool number. So that's why we get that extra level to level 30, and that's when we start the domination.
Yes. Yes.
Die smiling. Is this all bosses?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man. Where? Why are you so hyped about the all bosses? It's such an easy challenge. We all know there is only 2 bosses in the game that are difficult. It's Polter and Magician Faust.
Yes.
Okay, maybe the other monsters that have Dragoon editions are difficult.
Yes.
With this save file, I would be able to do any percent. Which is much easier
Yes.
than the normal any percent.
Yes.
It's funny. So Talisman, I don't know, like I haven't met Polter in a long time. But if the only weakness is the death, then that would be easy.
Yes.
It's funny, I defeated Faust without the casks or the physical ring. But the dragon helm is good for the extra HP.
Yes. Yes.
See, you're a pro, man. You are a legendary pro. So basically, you're saying yourself that the only category that matters is Magician Faust. Because he's the one boss that is stronger than the rest. And if you can defeat him, the other ones are easy.
Yes.
No, 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 no. Anything for the category to be born.
Yes. Yes.
The bloody Japanese. Yeah, man. That category would be brutal. Yeah, I know someone took the record. I'm really proud. Because the run that I did, that was the record, was garbage. It was just an average run from me. So I'm happy that my average run was not gonna stand forever.
Yes.
It shows that someone actually did the work and became better than me at the game. And that was always my biggest wish.
Yes.
Yeah, that was always my goal. If I did grind for a good record back in the day, no one would actually be unable to beat it. And that would be very sad for me, to always know that I only needed to run once in my life and be done for the rest of my life. But if you purposely run and just do one run, and whatever that run will happen to land at, you accept, then at least there is a chance that someone can beat it.
Yes.
I honestly didn't expect someone to beat my time by 10 minutes. That's pretty impressive. It's actually so impressive that I'm not even sure that I could beat it. In theory, yeah, maybe I have a chance, but it's a really good time. I would have to grind for a long time to get it.
Yes.
The Japanese Faust, I don't even know if it's realistic, to be honest. That would be so much more difficult than the English one. So much so that I don't think you would be able to do it in one run like that. That guy is not a joke on the Japanese version. Yeah, I've always wanted to get more runners into the game than to be like a dominating runner. Like, I don't care if I have the record or not. I did all of the work to get everyone else interested. I did the routing for different routes. You can run whatever you want. As long as you're running the game, I'm really happy. I know that I created most of the stuff, like the strategies and all that. That's cool with me. And if people can take it to lengths that I could never do, I hate grinding. I hate grinding for the record. Let's say I would do 50 runs. I could get a really good time, but I don't want to do 50 runs. That's a lot of time for me. That would be 50 days spent on playing Legion Dragoon. And I would prefer to make the route for someone else to grind those 50 days that have the energy. When you are new to the game, you will have that spirit. You will just see like, oh shit, I want to get the record in this game. So you will have the motivation to do 50 runs and get that good run going for you. I just don't have that interest. I would find that an interest if I would find new strategies that I can see are really good, and that would spark my interest, but only for a short while. And my Faust record, I actually made a mistake at the end of the run before I fought Faust, because what I didn't do was activate my strong addition with Hachel. I had my weakest addition, which only gave me 100% damage instead of whatever I had, 300. So I dealt a lot less damage, so the fight was 15 minutes longer than it should have been. My time, if I didn't make that mistake, would have been 9:55, which would still not be good. It would have been beaten anyway, especially with the Albert route that is 10 minutes faster. But my original run, Faust run, would have been under 10 hours easily if I didn't make a mistake in the final menu. I could have loaded my save file as soon as I made the mistake, but I decided to roll with it because I didn't want to use a save file to finish the run. I like to do the run from new game to the end without having to load a save file. The Japanese version is much more difficult because the enemies and bosses have more HP. They are also much stronger, like twice as strong.
Yes.
The problem is that you'll be so low level in the Japanese run compared to... Like, I mean, you are at the same level, but you know, you're super weak in comparison to the English version. So I don't even know if Physical Ring and Dragon Helm... Like, I don't think you would be able to survive, even if you have all of those. And I've never hacked this game. I like to play legit. No, they're talking about the Faust run, which has nothing to do with the Wonder Woman. And I haven't done a run with the new Wonder Woman route. My old record was done with an older version of Wonder Woman, which is definitely slower.
Yes.
I mean, there would be no point in doing the Japanese Faust because I think it would be too difficult. And if it's possible, then it would probably only be me who would be able to do it. I think it's too difficult for many of the other runners. I can survive much higher difficulty scale because I know all of the patterns that the bosses do. Every single one of them, because I played this game so much. And but the Japanese speedrun itself is already difficult enough that I think that is the ultimate category. You don't need the Faust. It's already ridiculously difficult. And considering that the last boss has 18,000 more HP. He has 60,000 HP, Melba, while you're still pretty much dealing the same amount of damage. And also the boss is much stronger. So Melba is actually really difficult in the Japanese version. Every boss is difficult, man. Especially in this one. My Japanese time is extremely bad. Maybe 1 or 2 hours can be improved just by playing a little bit better. So I'm gonna start grinding someday for the Japanese record to be improved. Oh right, you want to see how many in-game hours I've played? Probably 14 by now. 14 hours. That means 14% progress.
Yes.
I actually have the Japanese version on PS3, the digital version.
Yes. Yes.
How long have I been streaming? Have I played 2 hours soon? Okay, so this should take 2 hours, so it seems like I'm on track with how long it's expected to take then. Nice. Yeah, you can access the Japanese store wherever you are in the world. It doesn't matter where you are. You just have to create a new account, and whenever it tells you what language you want, then you select Japanese. And then you sign up for the PlayStation Store. I have access to all three, American, Japanese and Europe store, and I can purchase games from all of the regions. The only problem is I would have to buy those refill cards from eBay or some other site. So then it's like 38 minutes left of grinding until I reach the next level.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, man, I have backups of my PlayStation 3. If they would take down the entire store, it wouldn't affect me because I already downloaded and made a backup copy of everything.
Yes.
So I am fine, regardless of if they remove it. I don't really.
Yes.
The Legaia 2 version is broken, man. But I'm glad it is. Because it's so fast.
Yes.
I wonder if the guards will eventually deal 0 damage, because if they deal less than 1 damage, it will round it downwards to 0 instead of upwards to 1. Ooh, nice, man. You see, the deal 0 when I guard. Yeah, I can show it again. It's because their damage is less than 1. Or, if their damage is 1 normally, then it's like half when I'm guarding. But it would be interesting to see if I can get so strong that they no longer even deal damage to me. My defense and attack stats are ridiculously high now because of my level ups. This will be a fun speedrun to do when I'm done. Yeah, it's like the weapons doesn't even matter anymore. The basic stats are so high.
Yes. Ha. Yes.
Because you can't die.
Yes. Yes.
That's the goal of this stream. Level 16 to level 17. And one level every Sunday.
Yes.
I'm gonna have money for 8 legend casks.
Yes.
I already calculated it before. We know what the percentage of progress is. So 14 hours means 14%. So you can see I already have 10,000 or 11,000. So yeah, we are gonna be at about 80,000 gold by the end of this journey. So 4 legend casks with 4 legend armors, whatever they call the last ones. Armor of legend.
Yes.
You will be indestructible. And then you can get Bandit's Ring from Drake. And you will have the speed to dominate the entire game. Every speedrunner's wish will come true with this run. You ever wanted to know what a speedrun would look like with Legend Cask? Or a maxed out dart addition? Now finally you will be able to see such things.
Yes.
You know what I could do, my friends? I could be leveling up twice as fast. If I also do a Final Fantasy VII on the side. Imagine leveling 2 games at the same time.
Yes.
I think next Sunday I will include the beginning of FF7 by side with this one, so that I can level 2 games at the same time. But wait a sec, I don't have 2 monitors, so I would have to watch one from my computer screen.
Yes. Yes.
So when is the Pirates stream gonna happen, Manny? You made me interested in watching that game, man.
Yes.
Of course. Pirates, one of my favorites.
Yes. Yes.
That bloody soda dungeon too, man. Epic game. Alright, only 400 experience left for the level up. To be honest, it feels longer than 2 hours, even though it's not even been 2 hours yet.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, you little cheater, man. No encounters. That is not legit, man. Oh, not only that, but you're gonna use the 3 times speed? Wow, man. Better to do it on the PC, mate. No cheats.
Yes.
Remember when you were talking about the tooth challenge, man? And I would ask about it? And you would just paste like your entire description
Yes.
in the chat. Those were good times, man. So how did you come up with the tooth challenge name?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's the best misspelling I've ever seen. And I never suspected that there was something wrong. I just like the name, the tooth ring. It's legendary, man.
Yes. Yes.
This can be endless.
Yes.
If you go all the way to 60.
Yes.
Okay, getting closer now. 300 experience.
Yes. Yes.
This is my biggest dream in this game. To be able to dominate with dart only.
Yes.
You won't even need to buy any revive items because you don't even want to revive the others. So I guess you only need to buy potions.
Yes.
And if you do equip the therapy ring, you don't even need to use potions because it will just regenerate every time it gets a turn. Albert is gonna be
Yes.
sad knowing that he's no longer the true king. What's cracking, man? Oh wait, in FF7?
Yes.
I won't be leveling up Dart more, but I will save this save file forever so that I can speedrun from level 30. There is no point in grinding more. I mean, we already know what's gonna happen. If I'm level 60, I'm gonna smoke every boss. But with level 30, it's still like a middle ground. You only have one overpowered character, but not extremely overpowered, so it's still gonna be nice to watch. Oh, nice, Manny. Changed your big profile picture. What did you change it to?
Yes.
No, it doesn't affect anything, but it's only gonna be Dart who is high level, the rest will be level 2 and 3.
Yes.
Just send it on Steam, dude. Just take a print screen or something and send it there, man. I'll see it after the stream.
Yes.
No, not really.
Yes.
Mate, you gotta show me, dude. Mate, you just do that Ripperoo accent, dude. It works every time, man. You're the funniest guy with that accent. Tell a nice joke with that accent, man. It's GG. Sure, if you want to be famous, do it, man. I'll click it, dude.
Yes. Yes.
Approximately 200 experience left. Should take me maybe 15 minutes to level up, I think.
Yes. Yes.
What the hell, man? Are you scared to post a picture, mate? What the hell, mate?
Yes.
I can't see anything. What?
Yes.
Alright, I don't think anyone can see any links. How did